Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, we are doing a reading for our beautiful collective here on YouTube. So thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you for sharing your own light and love and beautiful energy here with the channel. I'm already feeling such a lightness personally following all of the astrological intensity that we've been going through lately. I mentioned this in my last video, and of course, most of you are aware of some of these things as well. And many of you may have deeper knowledge than I do about the significance of these different events, but just to give a little mini rundown, and then of course you can add in the comments if you have anything else you'd like to share or any insights you have on the different astrological transits and events we've been experiencing recently. I would love to hear from you in the comments section. But we have gone through a Mercury retrograde, which I believe officially ends today. If that is correct, I'm not entirely sure. We also have had a full moon on the 9th, and we had the Lionsgate portal on the 8th. So there's been a lot happening, and this has compounded into a lot of intensity in the energetic realm. Of course, many of you are very intuitive and very sensitive to these energies, so you are most likely feeling them really strongly. Let me know, by the way, in the comments if you feel guided to share how you've been feeling through those events, but also now that we are kind of catching our breath here a little bit, hopefully you will continue to feel more of a lightness as the days and weeks go by. And of course, I will be here following you through on that journey if you would like to stay connected with me on the channel. And the best way to stay connected here is to subscribe. This taps you in energetically to our collective so I can channel more specifically for you both here in this video and in future videos as well. So in the last reading that I did yesterday, it was going to be a 7-chakra read, but then the first 3 chakra centers took a great deal of time. So I saved the other 4 chakra centers for this reading. And the first thing I want to do is share a little message from each of the cards that I pulled for the heart, throat, third eye, and crown chakra centers. So this is going to be a short channeled message for each of these chakra centers. And then we will go a little bit more in depth. So the heart chakra was the chakra center for which we pulled the 9 of Wands. Now, this is a very heavy card, and I feel that actually represents a lot of the emotional heaviness that many of us have been experiencing lately, considering that the heart chakra is the center for emotional processing. I'm getting the word overwhelmed. I'm also seeing a zebra for some reason, so that could be significant to someone. So the message here is the heart chakra is resilient but guarded. This card shows a soul who has been through a lot emotionally, love, grief, longing, hope, but is still standing, still watching the horizon. There's the energy of, I've been hurt, but I'm not giving up on love. I just don't know how much more I can take. You might feel your heart in a defensive stance, bracing for pain, but not because you're closed. It's because you care so much. There's a pulse of quiet loyalty here, like you've been holding space for something or someone far longer than most would. This card in the heart says, your heart is strong and it remembers, but it's tired. Let it rest and receive. So I'm going to go ahead and channel a bit more into that energy. I was going to go through each of the messages that I have channeled here, but I'm actually going to pull cards as we go because I want to kind of let us sit with the message, pull some cards to elaborate and integrate as well. So yeah, let's talk about what's happening in your heart chakra. Of course, I always say use your intuition, only take the messages that do connect with you in a personal and intuitive way. So I'm hearing you've been incredibly strong for so long now with the Angel of Strength in the upright position. But the beautiful thing about you is I'm hearing your strength comes from your vulnerability. And I'm also hearing your vulnerability is your strength, which those two statements sound very similar. Interesting. We also have appreciation reversed. So while you've been very strong, you may feel unappreciated. I'm hearing consistently either unseen or unappreciated in some way. And the weight of that seems to be bubbling to the surface right here. With attachment in the reverse position, I'm hearing cord cutting. Maybe you cut cords recently from heavy energies, or it's possible that I'm hearing for some of you, you're realizing just because you're strong doesn't mean you have to carry everything. One thing I'm getting very strongly is the word test. And I am getting this message that when it comes to either love or your relationships or your emotional world, there's been almost this feeling of how much you're able to handle without breaking, and almost maybe feeling a sense of pride over always being the one who's able to carry so much within a connection without breaking, whether it's romantic, whether it's a family relationship or a friend, whatever this is for you, maybe in the workplace. But what I'm getting is this next phase of your life seems to be calling you to allow yourself more ease and to no longer feel like you need to carry the weight of a one-sided either business situation, workplace situation, connection, whatever it is, to prove something, to prove that you are strong. You already are strong, and you know that about yourself. But when you preserve that strength by not necessarily utilizing it on draining one-sided situations, scenarios, connections, you can actually redirect your strength into more profitable directions. And when I say profitable, yes, maybe this is work related or financial related, but I mean energetically profitable, where you are getting a return on where you are investing your strength, where you are investing your energy, where you are feeling supported in return by what you are pouring into rather than unappreciated. So that's a very strong message coming up here. Now, I want to move on to the throat chakra, although my guides are saying later on in this reading, after we go through the chakra centers, we may circle back to the heart chakra because I feel there may be some different emotional threads, connections, people coming through your heart chakra that we could address. But I want to get through the chakra read first here, kind of wrap that up, and then maybe revisit more of the details of what might be happening in your heart center, because I feel there may be more there. But on the throat chakra, I pulled the 5 of Swords, and the channeled message for the throat chakra is there's inner conflict around what to say and how much to say. The 5 of Swords at the throat may indicate that you feel part of you needs to defend your truth, but also you may feel afraid what truth might cost. You could be feeling misunderstood or misrepresented, afraid that speaking your truth will lead to disconnection or backlash, or unsure if honesty will be healing or destructive. But there's also this question being presented to you: is silence protection or suppression? The throat here is asking for clarity over control. Speak not to win, but to free yourself. Let truth be the sword that cuts through confusion, not the one that wounds. So there's something about clarity on the throat chakra and how you may feel as though your clarity and you expressing that clarity through your truth could somehow be emotionally painful or hurtful to other people, simply as a byproduct of you just expressing or living in that truth. And this is reminding me of a lot of recent readings we've done about how for a while you may have opted more so to keep the peace, where you were maybe remaining silent to keep the peace instead of speaking your truth. And I'm getting there are situations where I'm hearing silence is protection after your truth has been spoken. I know that's kind of a strange statement, but for some of you, I'm just hearing speak your truth once and then let your silence be your protection. Interesting. So there's something about speaking your truth, but not having the need to over-explain it, to justify it, to rationalize it, speaking it or communicating it clearly and confidently, and simply allowing others to react to it as they will, whether they are repelled away from you or drawn closer to you. To, again, speak your truth once and clearly is what I'm hearing. I don't know why that's coming through so strongly here without overthinking it. And then to allow your silence to be your protection. So maybe there are people who it's like when you share your truth with them, they want to run you in circles or try to explain you out of it or get you to justify or explain yourself. And there's this message about not needing to explain your truth to anyone, not needing to explain why you feel the way that you feel, not needing to explain your intuition, because for some of you, this truth you're living is coming from your own intuition. And you may be thinking, I don't necessarily have a logical basis for this, but this is how I feel. And I have to honor that within myself. That's what I'm getting from the throat chakra here. With caring connections, I feel that someone is going to be communicating warmth, love, care, or support for you. I'm hearing an endorsement. Maybe for some of you, you're getting some kind of public endorsement from someone, from a boss or a coworker, or if you're a content creator or have a business, you may be getting some positive publicity of some kind. But I am getting that I'm hearing living in the energy of your truth allows the right people to find you and connect with you. We also have man holding a heart in the upright position. So there may be a person specifically who is going to be communicating their admiration for you in a very open-hearted way. This may be someone with woman holding a coin reversed who has recently exited some kind of karmic loop or pattern. So maybe they were in a negative cycle, or I'm hearing when you knew them in a past time, they may have been in some kind of negative relationship or cycle or something detrimental to them that they've risen out of. And I see them rising out of that and then communicating something to you that they felt restricted from being able to communicate with you in the past, because with the constraints card, they were restricted by whatever karmic cycle or pattern they were in. It's almost like they quite literally could not come towards you and fully speak their truth or be open about whatever this is. So yeah, I'm hearing I wanted you, but I couldn't have you with cornucopia reversed. This has the sense of this person exiting the karmic loop and then coming after what they really want, which I'm hearing what they really wanted all along, which in this case is you. So let's pull an emotion card for this. Whoa. A card just came flying out here. Abundance. I am a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. So abundance being connected to your throat chakra really makes me think that the way the world is opening up for you right now, the way you are manifesting is through your throat chakra. Your words carry power and people are feeling that power. I'm getting that you may be doing something, for example, in the workplace, in your career. There's something about the way you communicate, the way you show up authentically in your truth, the way you speak that is going to open doors, or that already is opening doors of opportunity for you or manifesting abundance. For others of you, you may have literal forms of physical or material abundance coming in as a result of things that you are creating with your throat chakra, whether you are a singer, a public speaker, a writer, creating YouTube videos or something of that sort. I feel like you are going to experience abundance connected with your throat chakra. We also have forgiveness in the reverse position. So what I'm getting from this card is there's something about forgiving people or situations internally, freeing yourself from needing to cycle through those situations when you may never externally get an actual verbal apology or request for forgiveness. It feels almost like you letting go of something internally, forgiving and releasing something so that it's no longer affecting you, when externally there may be no closure with those people or with those situations, but you have the agency to free yourself from those past situations emotionally and energetically, and you deserve that freedom, even if the other party involved never necessarily comes forward and explains something to you. Yeah, the sense I'm getting is you may have been waiting for some kind of explanation to let something go, but that explanation just was never coming. So you may have been waiting, like holding on to something, whether it was holding on to resentment or to something in the past or to a person, hoping that you would get some kind of explanation that would resolve something. But that explanation was never really coming from that person. And I'm hearing like you free yourself when you let yourself find closure internally about things, relationship situations in the past that you may never find actual closure for in the external physical world. So let's move up to the third eye chakra here. And on the third eye, we pulled the Nine of Cups. I absolutely loved this placement of this card. And your message says the Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment, emotional satisfaction, and inner alignment. In the third eye, this suggests your intuition is sharp and full of positive expectancy. You already see the timeline where joy, connection, and fulfillment are yours. You're creating from desire rather than desperation. This may also be a sign that your vision is manifesting faster than you think. And the more emotionally satiated you feel internally, the faster external alignment clicks into place. Your inner eye knows what it wants, and it's showing you glimpses of it now. So, wow, very powerful message coming through there. I almost feel like that's kind of a perfect message for that chakra center, but I will be pulling a few extra cards just to see if there's anything else that the third eye chakra wants to communicate to us right now. So, what else is happening in your third eye? I got the word discernment. Okay, so I'm getting that you may have gotten a clear, almost like an alarm bell message from your intuition when it came to bringing some kind of energy back into your space or into your life. The sense I get is that you've grown and healed and changed and evolved. And there was something from your past knocking at the door or some kind of energy that wanted to be involved in that evolution or like with this version of you. It wanted to be connected to you in some way. But the thing about this energy is I'm hearing it reactivates old timelines, not just for yourself, but it almost seems to affect, like it ripples outward and affects other things in your life as well. I'm hearing you've built everything that you've built from this place of alignment, from flow, from following your intuitive voice within yourself. And now it's almost like there's this energy trying to get you to change course or to allow it back into your life or your space. And there's something about this energy that's very contrary to your flow or the way that you conceptualize the world, the way you operate. It feels very opposite to that flow, very contradictory. And yet it's telling you that it would be useful or beneficial to you in some way, or it's trying to connect with you in some way. And I'm just getting this message that your intuition may have sent off alarm bells about this energy or about this situation to remind you to stay strong and confident in what has led you this far. I know that sounds kind of vague, but hopefully that connects for someone. We also have on the third eye the Two of Wands reversed and the Knight of Wands in the upright position. You may find a newfound surge of passion. I'm hearing as the fog clears around your third eye. There's been this like fog clearing effect in the third eye chakra I've been sensing, where there is this newfound sense of clarity and discernment. I said this in yesterday's reading, but it's like your intuition has been louder and clearer than ever before. And what I'm getting here is, this may inspire you into some passionate action. And I'm hearing when you feel that passion bubbling up within you and get inspired in a certain direction, that is a sign that whatever action you've been inspired to is very much in alignment for you and could even lead to some kind of moment of quantum leap. I'm just getting this message about allowing yourself to follow through those feelings of passion, because your passion is such a powerful guide here. Now, with the Three of Cups, this is about community, celebration, could be friendship, people who are actually part of your soul tribe and very much in alignment for you, manifesting in your physical life. I'm getting that from this card. But again, all of this seems to be very intuitively guided. I'm also getting the word stay in flow. I'm trying to figure out how this Two of Wands reversed relates, because we have the Empress here, which of course represents you. You are this free, empowered, flowing kind of being. And the words stay in flow seem to be connected to the Empress card here. I feel like you're creating a lot from your intuition right now. And as you continue to do that consistently, you are going to have more moments of those quantum leaps where things begin to shift very quickly for you. I'm hearing, but it's important to remember that it came from passion and not fear. Yeah, I'm getting that energy again that you got alarm bells about. I feel somehow it's trying to trigger old fears within you. Fears of like letting it go fully, or fears of being too ungrounded or too much in flow. I'm hearing like be realistic. It's almost like this energy is trying to get you to come back to reality or be realistic or face some kind of truth. And you're saying, wait a second, I've created this beautiful, magical reality I live in now from that place of flow, from that place of alignment, from that place of passion, not from fear. And I recognize that I am the creator of my reality, that I do have this ability to align with the frequency of the timeline I desire to experience and manifest it. I'm hearing you don't have to play by other people's rules. And it's almost like people are trying to bind you to their concepts of reality or their concept of what's realistic. And you are trying to open people to believing more in their own magic. And that is your path. Don't compromise on that. Yeah, and I feel that when you are following your intuition in that passionate way, not only is that when you see those powerful moments of quantum leap, but that also seems to be when you are the happiest, because I'm hearing freedom equals happiness. Like these two things, freedom and happiness, seem to be very, very connected for you. So if you're feeling restricted or constrained, or like you're being stifled from fully following your intuition, living as the Empress here, you're naturally going to feel lower vibrational. You're not going to feel this happiness and fulfillment, because living that way, living in that constricted manner, is so contrary to your nature. And you know that with every fiber of your being. You're just being asked to trust that. I'm hearing like, it's almost like you've given yourself the gift of your own freedom in many ways, mentally, emotionally, in your life. And you're being guided to really protect that freedom that you've given yourself. Because with the Magician reversed, I do feel there are people kind of pulling on you psychically through your third eye, trying to get you to kind of backtrack in a way. To feel like the Page coming out here instead of the Empress. when you've already done the work to become the Empress, you've evolved yourself into this. Yes, you've done it through your own non-linear process that hasn't looked conventional, that hasn't been necessarily measurable or quantifiable, but that process has been no less real or tangible, and the results have been no less real. So let's move on to the crown chakra. And we got the Two of Cups reversed for this, which is very strange because usually the Two of Cups relates to partnership, especially divine union. So I found it odd that this card was reversed for the crown chakra, but the channeled message I pulled through here is, this is sacred union, but divine disunion in its current form. And right away I got, you may be dealing energetically with a very powerful sacred union that in the physical is looking constrained or fragmented or different in some way, that is looking more like a disunion in the physical, but energetically there is such a strong bond with this other person. So this shows that there may be a disconnect between divine timing and human desire, a misalignment in how union is playing out on the earthly level, or an invitation to recalibrate your understanding of connection and fulfillment. This can also suggest that your connection with Source is being asked to override your connection to any particular form of union right now. Wow, I feel like that was really powerful for someone. I hope that if that message was for you, you had a chance to integrate that, because I want to read that again. Your connection to Source is being asked to override your attachment to any particular form of union right now. I heard union with the self as well. So you may be being asked to choose wholeness, to choose what's self-respecting, to choose to honor a union with yourself, seeing that as the ultimate divine union, as opposed to externally taking action to push or force a physical union with someone, even if you do have a soul bond with them. If pushing or forcing that union physically causes you to move out of your center, or to lose that sense of wholeness and union with your own source, with your own self, there may be spiritual rewiring happening around what it means to be chosen, what sacred partnership really is, or a soul contract you've been navigating. This card doesn't mean love is lost. It means love is being restructured at a higher level. Wow, so what a beautiful message. And I want to see if there's anything else the crown chakra wants to show us here. So what else can I channel from the crown chakra? Yeah, the 10 of Cups in the reverse position. I feel like it's weighing really heavily on someone, how something to do with their love life, or maybe a divine union or a sacred partnership, is seeming to not fully solidify in the physical, at least not in ways that feel conventional. Can I get any more information here? What else is happening with the crown chakra? The Ace of Pentacles. So there's some kind of powerful new beginning taking place. I feel like this actually speaks to your manifestation power when you are in that union with yourself, when you fully honor and respect yourself and affirm within, my union with myself is the most important thing, and everything else that is aligned for me will come together in its own time, with the Temperance card here in the upright position. With the Two of Swords, I'm also getting that there may be something you feel deeply conflicted about, because I'm hearing your soul and your head may feel pulled in different directions. But I'm getting a message from someone's guides asking you to connect the dots with something, and to recognize that you are so intuitive that you know when it's time to stop and when it's time to move. And if you're honest with yourself, I know you can look at your life and you can think of examples of times where you felt so entirely sure about something that nothing could stop you from moving towards it. Your intuition was screaming, like with every cell of your being, you were sure about something. You can also most likely think of times where you felt very much the opposite, where you felt very indecisive, very unsure. But the thing is, both of those are forms of your intuition speaking to you. We so often think intuition is always telling us what to move to. And while that is the case, the other side of the story is our intuition also tells us when to pause. And it doesn't always tell us why we're pausing, why we're stopping, why something doesn't look right. But sometimes your intuition will tell you, stay put, stay where you are, because where you are, while you might be labeling it as being stuck or not progressing, on a deeper energetic level, you may be in the optimal energetic point, at the perfect vantage point for your soul's current growth and evolution. I'm hearing if you're still growing here, it won't feel like time to move forward. So maybe there's something that you're telling yourself, I just need to let this go, or I need to move forward. It's like your head is telling you to let it go or to move forward or to do something else. But for whatever reason, your soul feels like it's dragging its feet. You feel like you can't make yourself do it, whatever it is, whether it's cutting someone off, whether it's letting go of something, whether it's, I don't know, whatever this is for you. And know that you are intuitive. You can trust your soul. It doesn't always make sense, but if you feel in your soul that you just don't know what to move towards, what if you are perfectly where you need to be right now? What if there's nowhere for you to get to? What if you can simply allow yourself to breathe into the now, where you've been planted now, to trust that things are going to continue to unfold naturally in their own time, and that if or when it's time for you to move, just like your intuition has been communicating with you that it's time to pause, won't it tell you when it's time to move forward, as it's done in the past, in those moments where you were pulled forward so inevitably from your intuition, you couldn't help but say yes. So I am going to read one final channeled message on the overall energetic read from all of these 7 cards that we pulled for each chakra center. You're in a soul recalibration cycle. Your heart is persevering, your voice is wrestling, your vision is flourishing, and your crown is releasing. You are walking through deep transformation, holding space for something bigger than logic, reconnecting to the self as the source of fulfillment. The spiral is spiraling upward even when it doesn't look like it. And that is really reminding me of something that I actually posted on Instagram. So I'm going to close this reading here on YouTube by sharing that Instagram message. By the way, I am posting a lot of real-time downloads on Instagram, so you can follow me there at Magnetize Yourself, and the link to it is in the description box as well. And I also will be continuing this channeling on Patreon, so we will be doing a deep dive reading, getting into who else may be connecting with your heart chakra, because that was coming up very strongly. And I said we were going to circle back to that. So we will touch on that in the extended, as well as whatever else wants to come through. So you can listen to the exclusive extended readings either on Patreon or YouTube memberships. And the link to listen is in the pinned comment and description box underneath this video. But my post from Instagram that I feel is so relevant to this reading says, when you're someone who is energetically sensitive, someone who processes life at a frequency most people can't even feel, your evolution won't always be visible on the surface. You might look still. You might look like you're circling the same emotions, the same thoughts, the same stories. You might even start to believe the illusion that you're stuck. But the truth is, you're moving in spirals. Spirals that ascend, spirals that peel back layers, spirals that rewrite timelines and dimensions far beyond the physical. Your healing doesn't always look like a straight line. Sometimes it looks like crying for no reason. Sometimes it looks like not knowing what step to take. Sometimes it looks like rest or pulling back or speaking your truth into the void. And people who don't sense energy the way you do might look at you and think you've lost your way. But you haven't. You're just navigating a different map. You're in the quantum. You're feeling things before they manifest. You're recalibrating your system before the new timeline appears. And while the ego wants evidence and the world wants progress reports, your soul is doing something far more sacred. It's unraveling what no longer resonates. It's softening old defense mechanisms. It's clearing programs inherited from generations before you. It's building an entirely new infrastructure of consciousness inside of you. So if you felt lately like you're spiraling, like you're revisiting something you thought you were done with, please don't judge yourself. Don't mistake motion you can't see for stagnation. You're not lost. You're not stuck. You're ascending. And the spiral, though it may feel disorienting, is not a detour. The spiral is the stairway. So that feels like a beautiful place to close this reading. Again, we will be continuing to the extended, so feel free to follow the link under this video to join me there next. But if you are stopping off here, thank you so much for tuning in. I would love for you to subscribe if you haven't yet and turn on notifications so you are the first to know whenever I post new readings or downloads that could relate directly to something going on in your life. Thank you so much again, and I will connect with all of you here again in tomorrow's reading.